From your perspective, where are we right now in the fight against COVID?
Well, I think we still have a ways to go. You know, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel here in the United States, but until all Americans are vaccinated, we still have a ways to go. But, you know, it's going to be a while until the entire world is vaccinated. So this is going to still be with us the next few years. And I think we're going to have to really watch these variants that'll be bouncing around the world. That's actually still quite concerning. Well, because every time we know viruses mutate, but when they mutate, you know, they can become sometimes more deadly or more contagious. And so anytime you see these mutations, we need to be on top of them in terms of surveillance. And then we're going to have to figure out, do we need to tune various vaccines to take care of them? But economically, we're not going to have as swift a recovery in the United States or in Europe if we don't make sure that everybody gets vaccinated.
Boom shakalaka, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters around the world. It is your boy Crucial, aka the Esoteric Noetic, aka the Chocolate Nubian Soul Brother. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, click on the bell, tell your friends, tell your mom, drop some comments. Let us know what it is. Let's get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the great debate. We are having a mass debate right now. Wait, I mean a massive debate. Don't say it. I know what you're thinking, you dirty man. No, we're having a great debate right now. Obviously, there's the Great Reset, and then there's the Great Debate. Now, this debate is not so much around whether or not everyone should be forced to get the jab. At least, that's what it sounded like it was going to be about. I mean, we've obviously had the mandatory masks in play. And granted, they were doing their very best to make that a permanent thing. I think because there are these court cases that are going on at the moment where a lot of these tyrants are being held accountable for violating your rights, the Nuremberg Code. I think powers to be are realizing that they can't get away with this stuff. Therefore, they're taking a back step when it comes to the mandatory boom shakaluckers. You know, I don't think in the next year, I believe, that they're going to force us to get the jab. However, I think what's going to happen is the government, along with these corporations, are going to implement this mass surveillance, make sure that every single person that has not gotten the jab is going to be surveyed, is going to be restricted from day-to-day activities. And of course, the government, corporations, are going to put pressure on people to get the jab. And my issue is that they're essentially going to coerce these companies, coerce individuals to go along with this program. And that is the debate that's been had, whether or not they should do that. And of course, they have absolutely no right whatsoever to be doing that. They have no right whatsoever to be interfering in your day-to-day activities and telling you that you should or shouldn't do anything. You see, if this entire thing was about recommendations, it was about these prime ministers, presidents, governmentalists, just advising you to do things. Now, granted, this would be an information war, purely an information war. People would be allowed to take on the information that they want. And those that wanted to get their information from other sources would be able to do so. Now, granted, we still have the issue of censorship that these corporations are complicit in. And look, they have every right to censor this information on their platforms. However, the decision would still be yours. Depending on your level of consciousness, depending on the information that you've been exposed to, you'd be able to make that decision for yourself. But the issue, ladies and gentlemen, is that this thing is not just an information war. This thing comes down to rights. I've been saying this from day one. This is not about your understanding of whether or not this thing is safe, whether it's a good idea. This thing comes down to someone infringing upon your ability to make decisions for yourself. When the government tells you that you must do X and Y, otherwise, essentially, it will shoot you. And a lot of people never want to acknowledge this. They say, oh, look, the government's just advising you to do something. Well, if I don't follow their advice, I'm going to get fined. I'm going to be arrested. I'm going to be shot, locked up in a jail if I refuse. That's violence. That is immoral, unequivocally unassailable. And I know I sound self-righteous, and people look at me talking about this thing and bringing it down to this fundamental principle that you should not initiate violence on others, but that is really what it comes down to. And the thing is, everyone knows that this shit is wrong because that's the stuff that we were brought up learning, right? Don't hit, don't take shit that's not yours. And it comes down to this fundamental principle. Do not force people to do shit if they're being peaceful. But for some reason, when the government does it, it's okay. So we're having this debate right now, not on whether or not, in my mind, this thing is safe, all right? Because of course it's safe. Of course, no one's really dying from this, even though the boxer, Marvin Hagler, died about a week after receiving his jab. It's completely unrelated. I mean, how could that be related? Everyone knows that the jab is completely safe, right? Even though, Hank Aaron, famous baseball player, Hall of Famer, died. Now, granted, he was 86. I mean, that's beyond the average life expectancy age. He died shortly after taking the jab, about a week, from what I understand. No, not much longer. But of course, it's completely unrelated. I mean, how could anyone think that it would be related to the jab? You guys are crazy conspiracy theorists, you conspiritualists, you fucking people that don't believe in the science. How can you not believe? The science is the gold standard. And if the science says that something is safe, of course it's safe. How could it not be safe? And then, of course, we've had recently DMX, famous hip-hop artist DMX, got a heart attack at the age of 50. That really isn't that old, ladies and gentlemen. It really isn't. And of course, it had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the jab. Completely unrelated. Even though he had the jab a week prior. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, seriously, what is wrong with you crazy conspiracy theorists that think this is anything related to the jab? I mean, of course it's not related to that. But anyway, that's not the issue. I don't care. If people want to go and get this thing, I think you're good people. I don't like these selfish people, these selfish lovers of freedom that think that everyone should have equal rights, that believe in equality, true equality, based off of the rule of law, the rule of the natural law. You guys are crazy. You guys are selfish. Now, that's just my opinion, but that's not where the debate is, ladies and gentlemen. It's not on whether or not this thing is safe. The debate is on whether or not you should be forced to do this thing. Whether it's not even to take the jab, because let's face it, the government is really not going to be pushing that unless they're crazy, unless they want a world war, unless they want me to pop a cap in their ass. But seriously, if that ever happened, I would openly, I wouldn't be doing this whole kind of like thin-veiled, saying something when I'm meaning the other thing. All jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, I would literally be going to every single one of my friends that I know advocates for this kind of stuff and be giving them an ultimatum that they would be either staying my friends by not forcing me and other people or the government to essentially take this thing and so forth, or they'd be becoming my enemy. They would be becoming my sworn enemy. Friend, family, and this is a tricky one, ladies and gentlemen. I battle with this because I love my friends and I love my family. I care about them, and these people do so much for me. But I would be having to choose between doing the right thing, and that means going to war with people that are fighting for something which is absolutely evil and immoral. Make no mistake about it. And I would have to do that. You have to do what you have to do and get the courage to do it after you've done it, even if it means becoming an enemy of the state and an enemy of your family, an enemy of your friends. I love the phrase that the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Because the heart of this thing, it comes down to the affiliations, the real bonds. And there is no greater bond than the bond of the truth, of righteousness, standing in the heart of Satyagraha. Satyagraha is the truth force. The truth force does not bend. It is pure. It will not fall victim to bullshit. And at the end of the day, you have to choose which side you want to stay true to. The truth force, or, look, mate, I care about my family and I care about the government, and I got to align with them because, look, at the end of the day, I don't want them to hate me. And yeah, this is the conversation. This is the real debate that's being had. Do I side with the people that I love, even though I know what they're doing is wrong? And here's the thing: you don't have to have hate in your heart to go to war with someone that is doing something that is wrong. Out of love, sometimes you have to do the right thing, regardless of if it means becoming enemies with those that you love. That is the most difficult test of life. This is what essentially Krishna said to Arjuna before the great battle in the Mahabharata, that you're entitled to your labor, not the fruits of your labor. That you must not be attached to the outcome. You must do that which you must do because it is the right thing to do in the moment, regardless of the consequences. And if this thing ever came down to it, ladies and gentlemen, I will always choose the side of human rights, true human rights. Of course, I will still love my friends and my family, and those that have been blinded by the false light, those that are still hell-bent on taking away people's sovereignty. But make no mistake about it, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. There is a war that is going on right now. It is a war of the minds. It is a spiritual war, and it's incumbent upon us to shed the truth, to cast the light. People are buying into a lot of conspiracy theories right now. But I think the greatest conspiracy theory, ladies and gentlemen, is that there is no agenda, that all of this is by accident. It's all there are no people that are coming together to coordinate certain legislation, that there is nothing about this that is not coordinated or planned. I think anyone that has their eyes open realizes that there is an agenda right now. Got nothing to do, this got nothing to do with the veracity of how dangerous SARS 2.0 is. This has to do with the fact that people often come together in order to achieve certain ends. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it there. Let us know what you think about the great debate, the mass debate that is taking place right now. Until next time, this is your chocolate Nubian soul brother, the esoteric noetic, signing out, Chris Schul. Ow!
What is liberty?
What the? Who says you can't build muscle on a vegan diet?
What's it like being a hottie in the vegan community?
There are no political solutions, only technological ones.
The economics of the system don't allow multiple competing systems to survive.
Engineering, technology, these arts of humanity, they are magic.